Let's talk to some more people here. I guess I can have some... I can trigger some quests. Wait, I have the map to this place? Oh, okay, this is all there is to it. Wow.
This person must be dreaming too.
It would appear that way, yes.
Oh, we can enter dreams. So does this mean there's more reading? Let's just leave it for now. I'm surprised. I thought there was going to be a bit more to this place. It's quite a small area. Okay. Is this person dreaming?
And another victim. This work certainly is trying.
Okay, well let's enter one. I mean, I've already been reading for 20 minutes. My throat's gone pretty dry, but I will give it a go.
I figured a book like you would be into all this word stuff, Vice.
Even I have my exceptions. Now let's be off.
Yeah, okay. A colony... Oh, it's the kind of theme again. Annoyingly, the YouTube copyright picks this shit up again. Stupid flipping Warner Chapel. Whatever annoying company that is. I guess it's related to the Warner Media Group, but they have a copyright on so much Square Enix stuff, and it's really annoying. For channels like me that upload a lot of Square Enix, it's just... sorry, little rant there, but it was just frustrating. Like episode 4, it got claimed, and I was hoping that NieR Replicant was going to be like a copyright-free series, but every time this theme plays, the algorithm picks it up, Content ID picks it up, and I get flagged for it, so it's just annoying. But anyway, a colony of massive sculptures was visible in the distance, their tall forms scraping against the sky. Vice and Burke had never seen such a sight, and their eyes widened as they tried to take it in.
Those buildings must be huge if we can see them from this far away. What do you think, Vice?
As Vice considered his answer, the sun beat down on them with renewed ferocity.
Perhaps they are some manner of mirage,
he said. So yeah, it's weird. They've got some VA for like the first few lines, and then the rest of it you have to read yourself. It's an odd way to implement it, but whatever. Under this heat, a mirage or two would hardly be an unexpected sight. Burke nodded and wiped the sweat off his brow, leaving a trail of sand in its place. He thought he'd never been so thirsty. The ancient road on which they walked was black and cracked with age. Here and there, thin wisps of grass pushed up through the rocky surface, as if defying those who had laid this material down over their home. The heat reflecting from the ground made Burke lightheaded. His feet hurting, he crouched to rest. I don't know how much longer I can do this. Is someone playing a joke on us or what? The complaining had already begun. Vice tried not to let his eyes roll too much. A joke, he said. No, no joke. This road leads to the city of art. Perhaps the path itself is simply some manner of grand artistic work. You don't sound very sure of yourself there. Perhaps not, but thinking of it in this way might make it easier for you to bear. Burke glanced at Vice's grinning face, shook his head, and resumed walking. As time passed, Burke's feet grew more painful, and his throat drier than he thought possible. He tried not to look further than the next step ahead, because the bright sunlight made him hesitant to trust his own senses. We are definitely getting closer, said Vice, in an effort to cheer his companion. Well, at least they're getting on better this time. Yes, this much is certain. Encouraged, Burke lifted his gaze. Suddenly he stopped walking, choosing instead to stand in the middle of the road with his mouth and eyes wide open and his finger pointing in the distance. Water, he cried. It's water! Water? Asked Vice. Preposterous. I don't see any water. Over there, just ahead of us. Look, the sun is reflecting off it. The sun is reflecting off it. Without waiting for a response, Burke sprang to life and bounded towards the sight. What in the... There was no water. There was nothing but sand in every direction. Burke closed his eyes and sighed as Vice floated up behind him and chuckled softly. I believe this is known as a mirage, he said. Many a desert traveller has spoken of such things. Burke shook his head, bewildered. Suddenly he pointed off in the distance, his eyes wide once more. Wait, there it is! I just missed it! Look, it's right there! Burke sprinted off again, leaving Vice with no choice but to follow. After a few minutes of running, Burke came to a halt. could have sworn it was right around here. Confused, he put his hands up to his eyes and rubbed them vigorously. As soon as he stopped, he noticed a blue, shimmering pool of clear water just over the next rise. With a shout, he bounded off in search of it. The chase continued for nearly an hour, until an exasperated Vice finally floated up to Berg and struck him in the face with his cover. "Enough, you blithering idiot! Stop this at once!" "There is no water here!" Berg's face clouded. "There isn't?" "There is not, and perhaps next time you will listen to me when I tell you as much." Vice paused for a moment, then continued speaking in a slightly kinder tone. "However, I suppose this mad chase was not altogether wasted. It seems we have arrived in the City of Art." Berg looked up. Stretched out before him was a row of impossibly tall sculptures. Their journey was at an end. "They're huge!" cried Berg, completely forgetting the heat and pain of the past few hours. "I've never seen anything so big." Each sculpture was formed roughly the same shape, a tall rectangle that stretched up towards the sky, but that is where the similarities ended. Most were covered with panes of glass that reflected light in 1,000 directions, while others seemed to be nothing but frames of steel. Some had tall spires on their tops, while others possessed triangular caps. "What kind of city is this?" said Berg. "Where are the people? Where are the houses?" Perhaps the land is intended exclusively for artistic use. The debate continued as they made their way through the city. Miracles of artistry everywhere. Great iron crates with wheels sat silent on steel rails. Beautifully carved works with lights of red, amber and green dangled over every street. As they moved away from the massive sculptures, they found a great array of smaller ones. Some were covered in glass or brick, but many were composed of materials they had never before encountered. The sheer variety of colours and styles was staggering. Unable to find a theme or purpose to the abstract works around them, Berg and Weiss eventually fell silent. On the outskirts of the city, they discovered 3 sculptures in the shape of humans. Berg uttered a sigh of relief as he approached them. Finally, I was getting tired of modern art. The 3 statues were indistinguishable from a single word chiseled into their right arms. One read Alpha, one read Beta, and one read Gamma. As Berg moved to touch the nearest statue, a bird flew from the top of one of the sculptures. Alighting on the statue's shoulder, it emitted a brief, beautiful song that took the form of words. Only one form is real, the others are false. The real form will always speak the truth. The false ones will only speak lies. With that, the bird departed. As if on cue, the 3 statues shuddered to life, acquiring colour and form as they began to breathe. "Hey, look at that," said Berg. "They're alive." The triplets bowed low before Berg. "Please," said Alpha, "you have to get me out of this nightmare. I am real." "Stop lying," said Beta. He turned to Berg and threw his hands in the air. "Alpha's a fake. You know I'm the real one." "What a load of crap," said Gamma. "Beta is a fake. Everyone knows I'm the only real one around here." Their respective pleas given, the 3 statues returned to their frozen state as silence once again enveloped the city. "When you consider all of the statements, only one of them could be the real thing," Weiss said. Berg furrowed his eyebrows and considered his answer. "One form is real, the others are false. The real form will always speak the truth, the false ones will only speak lies." Okay, Okay, so I'm actually going to try and work my way through this. I mean, honestly, I guess if we assume that Alpha is the one that's correct, Alpha is the one that says that they're real, so let's assume that's true. Then Beta says, I'm real, so they're lying, and Alpha is the correct one. And then Gamma says that Beta is fake, which is true. And then he says, I'm the only real one around here, which is false here. But the false ones will always lie. So if you have one truth and one lie, then that's not going to work. So we have to assume that both of what Gamma says is true, because they always speak the truth. So that means that Beta is wrong, and it has to be Gamma, right? Surely Gamma's the one that's the only real one. So if that's correct, hold on. If that's correct, then that means that Beta says Alpha's a fake, I'm the real one. So if they say that Alpha's fake and they're also saying a truth. So both of these guys have to be... both of them have to be lying. You have to give me that, it's not real. Stop lying. So I think there's no way that this one can be correct, because for this one to be correct, then one of these guys have to be telling the truth as well, so that's why it doesn't work. And for Beta to be correct, if Beta is correct, Alpha's not real, so Alpha's fake, which makes Alpha's one correct, because Alpha only says that it's them, so they're lying, and Beta is correct in saying that Alpha's fake and that that's the real one. Then Gamma would say that Beta is a fake and be lying and saying I'm the only real one around here, which is also a lie. So I believe that Beta is the one that's speaking both of the truths here. The real one is Beta. Though Burke's voice betrayed a notable lack of confidence, he was relieved to see Vice nodding at him. Phew. If Alpha were telling the truth, began... Yeah, okay. I've explained it. Now let us presume... Yeah. As Vice finished his explanation, Alpha and Gamma crumbled soundlessly into dust, while Beta sprang to life once more. "Congratulations, villager," said Vice in a cheerful voice. "The time to awaken has arrived." "Thank you for saving me," cried the villager. He dropped to his knees and bowed his head as low as it could go before an uncomfortable Burke pulled him to his feet. "Why did you have a dream like this?" asked Vice. "Have you been to this city before?" The villager slowly looked around at the bizarre objects and sculptures that dotted the landscape, then shook his head. I don't think so. I mean, it's impossible, right? There's no way I could have ever been to a place like this. But at the same time, I feel like I've seen it before." "Deja vu," muttered Burke, "just like the mayor." The vague sense of unease that struck Burke during the mayor's dream spread once more through his mind.
That was rough.
I am positive I have seen that place before.
Okay, that's enough. Don't need you getting all weird on me too.
Okay, I thought maybe for figuring that out we'd get something, but...
I thought I was a goner there. Thanks for the help. What a strange dream. It almost felt familiar somehow.
Yeah, so obviously we've got past lives going on here. We've got memories of a past life. But it's just interesting how oblivious to it all he is. I mean, he's interacted with this stuff. He's not said anything like, oh, this city seems familiar to me as well. Because he was literally in the city in the prologue with the owner. So that's definitely interesting. I think I will try and do this final bit. I mean, since I'm here and I'm on this sort of reading and riddling hype, I will continue here. And we'll do this final one here as well. And it will be like an entire episode or episode and a half with just...
This person must be dreaming too.
with a lot of reading.
It would appear that way, yes.
Okay, so I'm going to do this as well. And then I'll probably wrap up the session, I think.
Can't say I'm very excited to go back there. That dream world sort of creeps me out.
Perhaps you should spend less time complaining and more time getting on with the mission.
Yeah.
But yeah, this world's definitely got some answers and some memories. I breathe air scented with death and resist the urge to laugh, for I know it will sound like the words of a madman. How long have I been in this fresh hell? My box, my prison, is tucked beneath a stairway in the long unused catacombs of some infinite castle. Outside, I hear the sounds of a funeral dirge that plays without end. Light has no place here. Wind is a forgotten friend. I pray for death to come, but he forsakes me. Time passes, and eternity slips by in the single tick of the clock. Someone knocks on my prison. Anyone there? I hear an unfamiliar voice say. My savior! I claw at the door of my jail, embedding thick splinters under my ragged nails. I scream for help. I laugh. I sob. Surely this is a product of my adult mind. Surely it cannot be true. Help me, I cry. For the love of all the gods, help me! Impossibly, I hear the sound of a lock being torn out and falling to the floor. As the door slowly creaks open, I have just enough time to see a silver-haired boy in a floating book before the light pours inside. My eyes, accustomed to the blackness, explode with pain. I am forced to run away. So a silver-haired boy in a floating book. Who are you? I ask, shaking hands covering my face. How have you come to this place? I am Grimoire Weiss. This is Burke. Long have we been searching for you. Now come, stand. We shall awaken from this nightmare together. The one known as Burke extends his hand and pulls me from the cell. Though my eyes are slow to adjust to freedom, my ears are keen as ever, and they realize the staccato sounds of heavy rain. I never thought to hear that again, I whisper. Would that this were not such a terrible storm, said Grimoire Weiss. Look at your feet. I force my eyes open and see water pooling around my ankles and lapping at my shins. There's so much of it. Yes, and more comes each moment we delay. If we do not make good our escape, we shall drown in this castle. We know you are weak, but you are our only hope to survive this place. Time, that long-forgotten friend, made itself known again. I nodded my head and swore to save my rescuers, no matter the cost. The castle catacombs are a maze, twisting upon themselves like the endless entrails of a giant. Are we actually going to get to play this bit? I squint down the dim corridors and proceed north. Okay. At the end of the corridor, I find a row of 20 gorgeous canopied beds resting atop a carpet of velvet. All are covered in a thick layer of dust and cobwebs. Searching for the door to the next room, I come across a shapeless mass of grey matter. It has been shoved against the side of the wall, and despite my fever, I think I see the outlines of a door just beyond. When I reach out a finger and touch a piece of the mass, it turns to dust and drifts away on the wind. Realization slowly dawns, and I fall to my knees and weep. Corpses. I face a mountain of charred and crumbling corpses. I look from it to the beds and back again until the horror dawns full upon me. Someone has piled these bodies into a tower and set them ablaze. Whether they were alive or dead, I do not know, and sanity would not permit me to consider the proposition further. I make a sound, whether scream or laughter I cannot be certain. Then my mind grants me merciful blackness, and I find myself opening the door and leaving the most terrible of rooms. I squint down the dim corridors and proceed east. I squint down the corridors and proceed west. Let's go south. There you go. Yeah, so you fall into dead ends, I think, depending on what you've picked. So I can go east and north. Water has risen to my chin, and now laps greedily at my mouth and nose. You dumb bastard, shouts Burke. He surely desires to say more, but the rest of his insult is cut short by the rising water. Grimoire Weiss, wet and tattered, floats on the water's surface. It is already too late for him. This wasn't how it was supposed to end. Oh, we failed? Oh, what? You can get a game over in that? Come on, that's bullshit. What the hell? You just pick some random flipping directions and you get a game over for it. Get out of here. What, this entire thing is a game over for that? Are you kidding me? So I have to do the thingy quest again?
Now I can find. This is one of them. I know.
Hold on now. So is this guy's quest not done? At least I remember this one. So then I can save.
Hi.
So that's really harsh, I gotta say. That is seriously harsh. Proceed east. See north. See, we don't know what to do here. Okay. Imagine my surprise when I see a series of paintings hanging on the faded plaster wall. Each depicts a person in the prime of their life, clad in clothing of the highest quality. The styles, however, are strange to me, leading me to believe that these people had lived long, long ago. One subject wears an outfit that particularly catches my eye. It is constructed of a thin, breezy cloth and decorated with a motif of flowers and birds, while encircling the figure's waist is a leather belt of the most perfect construction. It is a stunning costume even by modern standards. As I gaze at the portrait, I am struck by the desire to touch it with my own hands. Yet as I extend a single finger to the painting, I am gripped by a most unpleasant feeling. Staring closely at the image, I see it bend and warp into the shape of another finger. Something behind the picture is pointing at me. Is it another prisoner? A fellow inmate trapped for eternity in this place? I cannot let it pass, and so I seize the portrait with both hands and throw it into the water. The wall is hollow behind the painting, and inside I can just make out a body. Whether or not this is a prisoner, there will be no rescue. The poor soul is long dead. Scraps of clothing lie on the floor around the bones. Only a small amount of the fabric has survived, but it features the same delicate designs that were depicted on the portrait. I have been admiring a row of corpses, blocked from view by portraits of each victim at their pinnacle. Wow. Enough! Shielding my eyes, I paddle forward through the water. Oh god. A heavy wooden cars lie on the sides of a dark chamber, doubtless they are filled with wine. My thirst roars to life. I cannot remember the last time my parched throat had relief. I scramble to the first cask and pull frantically at the cork. The theft of a few cups means nothing, I tell myself. The casks will be ruined by the flood regardless. Frankly, the cork surrenders to my attack, and thick red liquid bursts forth from the hole. This is no wine. It is blood still warm from the body. Whether animal or something else, I cannot say. The foul liquid soon mixes with the rising floodwaters, creating a warmth that laps against my thighs. By all the gods, are the rest of these casks filled with blood as well? I lack the courage to confirm my suspicion. Disgust quickly becomes fear as I turn to flee, but my weakened legs betray me, sending me toppling over into the red ocean below. The smell of death is everywhere. It threatens to consume me. I must escape this hell. Crawling on all fours like an animal, holding back screams lest any foulness enter my mouth, I lurch forward through the red waters and come out of the room to freedom. I squint down the corridor to proceed east. Oh no! 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 They made it too difficult, man. What the hell? This is ridiculously hard. How the hell am I supposed to know? I'm just randoming it through. That's some bullshit. Honestly, I don't have time to keep rotating that thing. I don't think that's the best design quest I've ever seen. Giving you a game over for random choices that you've made is just shit. I'm sorry. So I'm gonna research this one. I've already done it like 3 times. I need to finish the session. Okay, I find myself in a great hall with only the sounds of rain for comfort. The waterlogged red carpet squishes beneath my feet as I approach the center of the room. Once there, I behold a beautiful dining table upon which rest china and silver of the finest construction, as well as the remains of a fantastic feast. As my eyes continue to adjust, I see many chairs surrounding the table, each holding a dinner guest. Noticing movement, I approach the chair at the table's head, but as the truth of the matter dawns on me, I recoil in horror. The host of the feast is a corpse, as are all the invited guests. An army of foul, wriggling insects have made homes in their remains, and this is the moment I saw. This once splendid feast was now nothing more than a requiem for the damned. I take a moment to steady my shaking hands, then slowly back away from the table. Desperate to lose sight of the abomination before me, my gaze lands on the chairs upon which the dead were seated. This is a mistake, for the chairs prove to be even more terrible than the feast itself. Each one is covered in a layer of spikes that run from the seat, up the back, and down the arms. This explains the colour of the carpet beneath my feet. I can only pray that the unfortunate diners were dead when the meal began. If not, it is a simple task to envision the agonized screams that must have sprung forth from their mouths. My mind grasps frantically at the possibility that these souls have committed some terrible crime for which this was the punishment. Though in truth, I suspect they had committed no crime at all. There would be no tomorrow for these unfortunates. This was their last supper. Okay, north. Against all hope, we make it to the front door. Break it down, someone cries, and so I give myself to the effort. In tandem with Burke and Grimoire Weiss, I slam my body against the thick, sturdy door. On the third try, it gives way, and we find ourselves sprawled on the ground outside the castle, sprawled. The storm is in retreat. The clouds above are dark and foreboding, but to the west I can see a thin shimmer of sunlight trying to break through. How can I thank you? I cry as tears join the rain on my cheeks. I would surely have died in there. Looking down, I suddenly notice that my dress is in tatters, and sheepishly try to cover my exposed skin. Your dress? Asked Weiss. Then you are a woman, madam? I am. I proffer the two a smile. I suppose that comes as something as a surprise, seeing as how I exist only in the form of words. I can see that the one known as Burke is disappointed that the torn dress will be given no further description, but he hides it well. With a nod and a shrug, the three of us set forth to our awakening. But behind us, an awakening of another kind is taking place. Black smoke fills the abandoned castle, providing the countless damned souls inside with their final shroud. After a moment, the castle's windows shatter with a mighty roar. A fresh breeze blows through the hallways and corridors, clearing the smoke away for good. As we watch in awe, uncountable black shadows slowly flicker to life, crossing to and fro in front of the broken windows. The castle's dead have awakened to their new life as shades.
You have anything to say about that?
Hopefully there will be no labyrinth next time.
I hear that.
Wow, okay, so yeah, right from the get-go it was very clear that there's a magic capsule, nice, that there's a strong chance that those shades were once people, and they had some, you know, the way the blood splatters from them, the way they say something when you kill them, it looks like they either had souls in them or they were, you know, there are people that have been transformed, etc. And well, that story there is even more of an indication. So yeah, I looked it up. I mean, I had 2 or 3 runs there myself, but it was getting a bit annoying having to reload and go back through it every single time. So I'll leave like an annotation that shows you which routes to pick to go first. And so now I have to redo this one. For some reason, even though I saved after doing this guy's one, when I fail and I reload, for some reason I have to do this guy's one again, which is a bit weird. Like, the game doesn't recognize that I've done it, but thankfully it doesn't change. It's a nice easy one. So it's just 30 seconds of flicking through and making sure you don't press X too many times, because the answer's not alpha. So yeah, a lot of talk of memories and like past lives and ancient times. And the fact that we got people turned into shades. Okay. So now we've officially done the...
That was rough.
I am...
Okay. Okay.
Yes, if the mayor's assumption was correct. I think I have had enough wordplay to last a lifetime. Thank you very much.
You're telling me. Anyway, let's go see the mayor.
Okay, so I've finally done that bit, and I'm hoping that's the biggest chunk of reading I have to do for this one. My mouth is seriously dry. Like, that's a lot of reading. Because I haven't had to do much of it for the entire game, I wasn't as warmed up for it, so I did my best. Let's talk to the mayor and wrap this up, and I will end the session too.
Oh, how wonderful. Thank you so much.
Surely he's going to give us something.
Here,
Yeah.
I have something for you.
Okay, one-handed sword, faith. Brilliant. Okay.
Wow, this looks valuable. I can really have it?
Of course. It's apparently a weapon of some renown, but we have little use for it.
Well, we appreciate it.
Thank you again for everything.
There we go. It was worth it. I mean, I definitely had to do it anyway. And there's plenty of reason to do it. I mean, it's an interesting like switch up of the game style as well. So like, this entire session we've had like the boss battle, we had some more of like the bullet type of battles, like the boxes that we had to use the bullets more. Then we had the puzzles inside the temple, and then we had these dreams, like riddles and reading sections. So this section was much more diverse and interesting gameplay wise than the previous one, so I'm definitely pleased about that. Okay, and we've gone over 3 hours now, so I think this is a good time to wrap things up. So let me just get out of here. But again, we're kind of clueless about what to do next, aren't we?
So how was the village?
Oh, it was truly magnificent. There are no words. Really.
Neat.
Let's get back to Popla. She'll probably want to know what's going on in there.
Okay, makes sense. So I'll probably save inside the village. One thing I wanted to check as well. We had a new magic ability. We had this. Let's just use that. Picking up a lot of abilities now at this stage. Let's go. Kind of wish we could ride this with Kaine together. It'd look quite funny, the two of them. Stupid shades. Let's also check the weapon. Starting to really expand the weapon thing as well now. Oh yeah, okay. Attack power 147 and it's very light. Cool. Oh cool. I kind of like these sort of weapons as well. Does it always have blood on it? It's like rusty. Before the next session, one thing I might look to do is see if I can up the difficulty to hard before continuing, because I don't think, have we had a game over on boss battle just because I got kicked off, like the platform, but other than that like, as a result of impacts, we haven't had any game overs, so... And it's been like 10 hours now, so I think we need to up the ante a bit. So it's pretty much the same thing I did with Automata. Okay, so I'll see you guys for the next session. Thank you for watching. Take care.